Welcome to graduation. Come on in.
Right this way.
Welcome to graduation. Got a seat right here for you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the remote portion of the 162nd Braintree High School graduation ceremony in celebration of the class of 2020. Please rise in body or in spirit as the BHS Music Department performs our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
Thank you. This year's ceremony obviously will be unlike any other in the long history of Braintree High School. While I and the student speakers you are about to hear are here at the stadium, all of you are watching at home in preparation for tomorrow's parade-style distribution of diplomas. While we all would prefer to be here together to celebrate the class of 2020, we do know that between this pre-recorded program, tomorrow's parade through town, and our in-person ceremony scheduled for later in July, we all will have a chance to give closure to our seniors' entire academic careers and to their unforgettable final year as Braintree Public School students. For now, we would like everyone to consider the program that you are about to watch to be the equivalent of the opening portion of a traditional graduation in preparation for the awarding of diplomas to all graduates by house tomorrow morning. To start our program, I would like to call to the stage the president of the class of 2020, Sabrina Carnes, for a formal welcome.
I would like to start by thanking you all for being here. Oh wait, I mean viewing. And giving me an excuse to get out of the pajama uniform I've been styling for the last 3 months. I think someone saw that Braintree High was breaking ground on the ice rink, and they were like, oh no, this can't happen. Send in the corona. As seniors, this current pandemic has given us a strange opportunity to look back at our senior year and our high school careers with nostalgia before our final days were even played out. As I've looked back these past few months, I found myself missing both parts of my high school career I assumed I would miss and others that surprised me. One thing I will never forget about high school is the time I spent hanging out and just relaxing with my friends and classmates. For instance, I miss sitting in the caf first block, eating my cheesy bagel, and watching the last few stragglers voyaging into the high school. Now, I've also been on the other side of that cafeteria window, and I can confidently say that one thing I don't miss is awkwardly running into the school at 8:01 with a live audience watching me from the caf. Another thing that I think we all miss is sitting in the stands during football games, listening to the band and talking with our friends. I must admit that although I loved going to the games, I never knew what was happening during the games. I mean, I'm sure you players were doing what you were supposed to do, but the game honestly could have switched to Quidditch halfway through, and I wouldn't have batted an eye. At Braintree High School, you could catch a live performance in the morning in the form of an assembly and eat lunch at 11:05. I don't know if that makes it like a cruise or a nursing home, but I love it either way. I must admit that sitting in the bleachers during those assemblies for an hour in skinny jeans isn't the move. By the end, I always felt like the jeans were just a new layer of skin I would have to wait to shed off next winter. But I love those assemblies because they were a rare opportunity for our grade to sit together, united, all in one room. At Braintree High School, we were not only united in a common location, but also in a common mindset. For me, it was studying. For others, it was staying up late practicing their sports or instruments, or running through their lines, or preparing something for their next club meeting, or working or caring for their siblings. Regardless of what you were doing, we all stayed up until the wee hours in the morning at one time or another. There is nothing like walking through the hallways and looking around at a sea of students, dragging their feet like zombies, with red, bloodshot eyes and mouths just hanging open. This sleep deprivation, although torturous, is proof that as Braintree High students, we were taught to challenge ourselves and to work hard, two characteristics that I know will help us succeed in the future. The Braintree High faculty also worked hard to ensure our future success. As a member of the student council, I have had the opportunity to attend numerous meetings with different faculty members, and I must say that I don't think anyone else could care more about their students than these people. At this time, I would like to thank our class advisors, Miss Lobby and Mr. Ritland, for working hard and helping us plan our class events these past 4 years. I know it was not an easy task, but I'm thankful that you both helped us make our high school careers so memorable. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Scully, who is a headmaster that goes above and beyond his job requirements. I was in a meeting once with Dr. Scully where he talked about where to place a sign that says hi in many languages so that every student could see it when they walked into the school. Now, if I was in charge of a school as big and enthusiastic as Braintree High School, I think I would be so overwhelmed that I wouldn't notice if the students were actually having a bonfire in the middle of the hallway. But Dr. Scully is different. He is a man who cares a lot about his high school and is willing to take the time and effort to think of the small details that will make a big difference in students' lives. Also, despite popular belief, as students, we don't always act like the innocent angels that you see at home. Although we were difficult at times, the faculty always worked hard for us. They understood that high school only comes once in every lifetime, and they made sure that our time here was fun. The housemasters, Mr. Reardon, Mr. Dellery, and Miss Moynihan, that always went the extra mile and were friends to all, even let us have a tailgate before one of the football games, which I thought was a great way to bring our class together in the beginning of the school year, and to show our spirit. I believe that you only miss things worth missing, and that is why I miss Braintree High School and all the memories that we made together. I would like to stop here and thank my parents and all the other parents and guardians for helping us get to this point. Also, thank you all for being such great classmates these past 4 years, and I look forward to seeing all the things we will accomplish in the many years to come. Congratulations, everybody. We did it.
Thank you, Sabrina. And now Kaitlyn O'Rourke, the BHS student body president, will deliver a message for her classmates and guests.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. We have made it. 4 years, full of so much laughter and so many tears, finally coming to an end. And I know this may not be the graduation or the end we have all been expecting these past 12 years, or even the one we wanted. But nonetheless, we still are here and being celebrated for all the achievements we have made. We have spent these last 4 years together, within those concrete walls, walking through the musty hallways, sitting in worn-down desks, or at grimy lunch tables, day after day. Seeing each other every day, both learning and growing together. Many hours have been spent here at BHS, waking up early each morning, hopefully leaving enough time to get that iced coffee before school, spending 7 hours each day passing each other in the halls, or sitting near one another during those long classes. After that, headed straight to sports or clubs, along with all the dances or different school events. Within all the time, BHS has shaped us into the people we are today. We, the class of 2020, have given BHS a run for its money. We have made history, not just because of how our school year ended, but with what we had done with the few months that we were in school. Making new traditions like Music Monday, or hearing Colleen's voice every Friday morning, to fighting for what we believed in. We stood up for ourselves, just like we had been taught to do, along with most likely having the most petitions made at BHS in 1 year. We had our dreams in mind, and we were not going to settle for anything less. Although we may not have always seen eye to eye, and more times than not ended up arguing like siblings, we still are always BHS, class of 2020. Within these 4 years, many accomplishments have been made. We have people who have been named sports teams, captains, or leaders of clubs, becoming role models for the grades below. We have NHS members and those who have made honor roll, showing their educational excellence. Some are even enlisting, committed for sports, or just furthering their education some more, headed out to the world to do some great things. Biggest accomplishment of them all is here, becoming a graduate. Knowing that all the time and hard work you have put in mattered, even when you think it wouldn't. We could not have done any of those things if it wasn't for the people around you or the school that shaped who you are forever. Memories were made here. Memories that we will cherish and hold, that we will look back on later in life, and that we will dream of reliving. These are the memories that are filled with each other, the people we have spent years of our lives with. From years from now, we may not always remember everyone's names or their stories, but these people around you, they have seen you at your best. They have seen you at your worst. They are your family. No matter where the world may take us, and no matter the separate paths we choose to follow, one thing will stay true. The thing we have heard for the past 4 years, but which means so much more today. We are, and always will be, a WOMP. We are WOMP Nation forever.
Thank you, Kaitlyn. At this time, please welcome to the microphone the class of 2020's Salutatorian, Ariana Carnes.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ariana Carnes, but I also answer to the name Sabrina when convenient. As we close this chapter of our lives, and many of us prepare to log into a new online school, I'd like to take this time to reflect. Everybody sitting here can look back on high school and remember it completely differently, for every experience is unique. Well, besides mine and Sabrina's, those were virtually the same. This diversity in experiences is what makes Braintree High School so special. We have students who are musically inclined, artistically gifted, academically advanced, and athletically skilled. Like myself, who scored a whopping 4 points all basketball season. This diversity is brought together to form the class of 2020, and every student brought their myriad of talents and personalities to school each day, which made the school a lot of fun. The Braintree High staff did a great job keeping this fun school from getting out of hand, while also giving us the space to make our own memories. Being Student Council Vice President, I have seen firsthand how dedicated and ready to help everyone at BHS is. Teachers, guidance counselors, housemasters, and of course, Dr. Scully have willingly sacrificed their time to chaperone all of our class events. They buy everything we sell, from Christmas ornaments to chocolate bars that we of course only sell after the bell rings at 2:05 and not in the middle of class. The dedication the staff has is seen right away when you enter the main entrance at BHS and walk past the security booth, where there are always smiling faces, and is demonstrated throughout the school, where custodians can be seen all day, every day, cleaning and fixing everything in sight. Based on how my bedroom floor looks like at the end of me finally deciding on which outfit to wear, I cannot imagine how hard it is to keep up with nearly 1,750 of me walking around and dropping papers, pens, and wrappers at a rapid rate. Each morning, when Alex and Sophia, also known as the voices of BHS, tell us all about the weekly accomplishments of the school, we get to see the diversity of the school at its finest. They report everything from math team victories to upcoming football games. All of these accomplishments that are announced each morning are the result of the hard work students at BHS put in during and after school hours. Walking through Braintree High after 2:05 is like watching a live taping of America's Got Talent. Well, minus the celebrity judges and the chance to win $1 million. You can hear singing coming from the auditorium, track athletes are running the halls, and the dance team is starting one of their 12 hours of practices in the gym. This rich diversity that is seen every day at BHS will definitely continue into our futures. We have students who are ready to serve our country in the military, students who are bringing their artistic talents to a School of the Arts, others who are ready to take their sports to the next level in the college league, and others who are joining the workforce. Despite all of our diverse interests, Braintree High School is a united community. Unity is seen in the annual pep rally and this year during the first annual BHS School Pride Rally. During these events, all of the different clubs, sports teams, and musical groups in the school gather together to celebrate Braintree High as a whole. Unity is also seen Fridays in the fall, when we all pack the Braintree High bleachers to watch the football games, hear the band play, and see the dance and cheer teams perform. Braintree Unity continues past the high school, and we have been able to see that firsthand as all different members of the community have worked hard to give us a different yet special end to our atypical senior year. I'm excited to see where all of your different paths are going to lead you, but no matter what, as all of our new rally towels say, once a womp, always a womp. Okay, I'm done with my speech, and thank you to my mom and dad.
Thank you, Ariana. And now our final student speaker on the program, the class of 2020's valedictorian, Phoebe Rust.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever time it is that you are watching this ceremony. My name is Phoebe Rust, and thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've enjoyed getting to know most of you from the classroom, clubs, fields, and courts throughout our 3 3/4 years together. Thank you to all of the teachers, administrators, and parents who have supported us on our journey. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. These wise words from Helen Keller, spoken so long ago, are particularly relevant in today's social and political climate. Even as we are forced to be apart, our community has remained united and supportive of one another as we all try to get through the chaos that is the year 2020. Let's face it, this pandemic has ruined a lot for us. Events we've been looking forward to our whole lives have suddenly been taken away. But our class didn't sit back and let a virus tell us what to do. We stood up for ourselves. When the administration was making graduation plans, Dr. Scully received dozens of student emails expressing our desire to be together for some semblance of a graduation ceremony. Although some of those emails were more strongly worded than others, every effort counted to make the point that the class of 2020 wasn't about to let someone else make any decisions without receiving our input first. Thank you to the parents who spoke up on our behalf and to those who took the time to get on a call with Dr. Scully to share our thoughts. And all I can say is that I admire Dr. Scully for being brave enough to join that call every week. During this time, we continued to support each other as we always do. We celebrated each other's future plans by posting them on the class Instagram so that no one's accomplishments went unnoticed, even if we didn't get to parade through the halls in our Spirit Week attire. We managed to find socially distant ways to be together, well, other than Senior Week. Cars were parked in circles every day, 6 feet apart. Friends baked each other food, and our community rallied around us with Adopt a Senior. I want to say thank you to all the adoptive parents out there, even if the buckets of candy you gave us didn't exactly help with the dreaded Quarantine 15. But these examples of our grade's solidarity didn't begin when the pandemic did. We've been doing it throughout our time here. Our student body started Music Mondays and Friendly Fridays to bring us together as a community and remind us that there is more to school than just studying
and sitting through painfully long classes. Our class even liked to break a certain disciplinary rule together. That's true unity right there. We also established the tradition of the Pride Pep Rally, where I finally learned what the Pride acronym stood for. What I know for sure is that D is for diversity, and our nation could do well to remember that diversity is what sets our country apart from every other place in the world. We were founded on the principle that all of us are created equal. It is deplorable that members of our beloved country are still denied the rights they should have been granted hundreds of years ago. In this era of change, we must unite to stand up for those most in need of our help, and it is up to our generation to be the catalyst for that change. Class of 2020, we got robbed. We missed out on so many things. Senior week, prom, the countdown on the last day, senior nights, and making memories in general. But our stories don't end here. They start. Inside that cement block over there, you became your own person. You learned how to treat one another with respect, how to make connections, and most importantly, how to solve the quadratic equation. Now it's time to show the world what the Braintree High class of 2020 can really do. So let me leave you with this. We don't choose the times we live in. The times choose us. So let's choose to make a difference. Congratulations to everyone, and go Womps.
At this time, I would like to acknowledge some of the many people who have helped contribute to the success of the class of 2020 and worked hard to make our multiple graduation celebrations possible. Thank you to the Braintree Public Schools Central Administrators, Superintendent Frank Hackett, Assistant Superintendent Jim Lee, and Director of Finance and Operations Ed Cronin for their leadership and for their vision. They have been instrumental in making all of this spring's events possible, and they look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning along with the members of the school committee, whom we also thank for their service. The class of 2020 had 2 mayors during their high school careers, and so we thank both former Mayor Joseph Sullivan and current Mayor Charles Kokoris. Both are BHS grads, and both have shown incredible support for this school and its students. Thank you to the members of the Town Council, the Braintree Fire Department, and the Braintree Police Department, which has been instrumental in the planning for tomorrow's parade-style distribution of diplomas. Our 3 housemasters, Andy Dellery, Nancy Moynihan, and Matt Reardon, have spent countless hours getting ready for this year's graduation, but more importantly, they have ably managed our school and every aspect of the education of the individuals in their houses. Thank you to our curriculum directors, who work tirelessly with our faculty and administration to ensure an academic environment where our students are able to thrive, and in particular, our Director of Art, Ms. Heidi Hurley, and Director of Music, Mr. Matt Sawtell, who have contributed their creative abilities to all aspects of this year's graduation. To our guidance counselors, thank you for helping our students through their high school journey. The support that you provide and the relationships that you build make BHS a community and not just a school. And seniors, you'll have a chance to see them and thank them at tomorrow's parade. I'd like to thank Tom Mahar, our head custodian, the entire BHS custodial staff, and the Braintree Public Schools maintenance staff, Andrew Marin of the BPS Technology Department, everyone at B Camp for helping with multiple aspects of this year's celebrations, and all those who assisted in preparing our graduation ceremonies. And a special thank you to Administrative Assistant Kathy Finneran and Housemaster Nancy Moynihan, who each year plan and coordinate all aspects of graduation. The amount of attention that they have given to the smallest of details related to this year's ceremonies have been remarkable. On behalf of the class of 2020, I would like to acknowledge the family members and the friends who have supported their education, many of whom are gathering with them this weekend. And finally, I would like to acknowledge the Braintree High School faculty and staff for the wonderful work they have done over the past 4 years in preparing their students for this memorable day, work that continued all of the efforts of the BPS educators who worked with these students prior to high school. In particular, I would like to recognize Katie Lobby and Zach Ritlin, the senior class advisors, for the dedication that they have shown to the class of 2020 during this unprecedented spring. At this time, I would like to recognize some members of the class of 2020 for certain impressive and noteworthy accomplishments. The following seniors have maintained perfect attendance during all 4 years in high school, and I ask them, to feel acknowledged as we read their names. John Bugnano, Rachel Carver, Jimmy Chen, Cameron DiCarlo, Adam Gronadike, Catherine Nguyen, Vivian Nguyen, Janice Bakultong, Melissa Selesky, and Crystal Zhang. 10 members of the class of 2020 will be entering the military after graduation. We would like to honor and thank them for their service to our country. These students are Brandon Froyo, entering the Marine Corps, Shane Gurley, entering the Marine Corps, Luke Kleffer, entering the Coast Guard, Anthony Lara, entering the Marine Corps, Alan Liang, entering the Marine Corps, Vincent Mealy, joining the Army ROTC, Sean O'Riordan, entering the Army National Guard, Jonathan Sawyer, entering the Army National Guard, Arthur Tempesta, joining the Air Force, and Michael Turney, joining the Navy. Certain members of the class of 2020 have earned the distinction of being named class scholars. This designation signifies that their cumulative academic performance has placed them in the top 5% of their class. These students are Kaitlyn Arsenault, Thomas Bardi, Caitlin Brattain, Ariana Carnes, Sabrina Carnes, Brianna Chaparro-Bay, Olivia Corbo, Samantha DePaulo, Elizabeth Foley, Henry Huang, Nicole Knauber, Allison Nell, Karina Lamb, Isabella Lambros, Samantha Lee, Trevor McDonald, Mairead Morahan, Kristen Eng, Margaret Richards, Stephanie Rongone, Phoebe Rust, and Ivy Stanton. As we acknowledge the academic talents of this class, I would also like to recognize those students who have received all A's and B's through all 16 marking terms during the course of their career at BHS. These students include Kaitlyn Arsenault, Ariana Carnes, Sabrina Carnes, Brianna Chaparro-Bay, Olivia Corbo, Samantha DePaulo, Cameron DiCarlo, Samantha Donovan, Avery Hannigan, Karina Lamb, Isabella Lambros, Samantha Lee, Frank Mahoney, Dmitry Maryanovich, Brian McCormick, Kristen Eng, Vivian Nguyen, Jessica Richa, Margaret Richards, Stephanie Rongone, Phoebe Rust, Alan Sun, Michelle Jung, Oliver Zaba, and Crystal Zhang. Congratulations to all the students who have been recognized. Before we conclude this portion of our graduation and begin thinking about tomorrow morning's distribution of diplomas, I wanted to share a few thoughts with this year's graduating seniors. At this point, I am sure that you are a little bit tired of hearing from me in emails, letters, and videos, and so I will try to be brief. I'm also aware that speaking to you through a camera lens is a far different experience than standing in front of you, on the same field and under the same sun. But the virtual format of this program does have some advantages in that it allows for this.
Braintree High School class of 2020, congratulations. Be brave, be bold, and be better than you ever dreamed or imagined. Congratulations. Mwah.
And for this.
Hey, BHS class of 2020, this is Butch Stearns of Boston 25 TV and Braintree High School graduate class of 1978. Just want to give you a quick message of congratulations on this accomplishment. And as you go forward, pursue something you're passionate about and go for it. Your future is what you make of it. Congratulations and good luck.
And finally, for this.
Hello, my beautiful BHS seniors. I have missed you so much, especially serving you spices and cheesy bagels. I know how much you love those. I love you and I wish all the best in the future. I know you will do great things. Congratulations and good luck, class of 2020. I will miss you. Ciao.
So, virtual does have its advantages, but I've been trying to think back to the last time I had a chance to speak with all of you in person. And to be honest, it's hard to remember. Those first 2 weeks in March felt to most of us like business as usual. I'm sure there were people better attuned to what was going on in the world than I was, but I know I was excited to watch MIAA playoff games, to watch state music festival performances, and to be witness to some great teaching and learning in classrooms across our building. I was looking forward to the end of the week and talking with the 8 of you who had to suffer through the year with me as your advisor. And I was already looking forward to seeing many of you on playing fields and in the auditorium as we moved towards the spring. Obviously, things changed. And you don't need me to recount all the details here. Suffice it to say, however, that you should know that the abrupt shift in how we do business as an institution has left the adults of BHS feeling just as bewildered and at times just as upset as many of you have told me you have been feeling. I've said this previously this spring, but one of the biggest things I missed during this closure was just talking to all of you. I haven't known you during your entire high school careers, but just from the past 2, your generosity of spirit and your willingness to accept me as a part of your school lives has affected me significantly. I won't have another chance to see you as you turn the corner past my office on your way to class, but I will think of this class every single day that I am in Braintree High School, when I look at the beautiful sign that Ms. Hurley has created and that hangs right outside my door, and that I truly hope one day you'll come back to see in person. You've heard some outstanding speeches already, and you should know that your quality as a class might best be demonstrated by the character and wisdom of the leaders you have chosen for yourselves. You've heard about the true nature of unity. You've heard about what it means to look back reflectively. And you've heard about why it is so important to understand that every one of us is responsible for celebrating and nurturing the D in our BHS pride values, diversity. I do, however, want to share one idea that I have been reflecting on myself. And to do that, I want to start by reminding you that BHS was founded all the way back in 1858, which means that the first graduating class of seniors likely received their diplomas in 1862 during the Civil War. Some years later, the class of 1874 walked across the stage and onto one of the steepest and most frightening depressions in the history of our country, one that saw riots and beatings of unemployed people in New York City. The class of 1911 had their school burned down during their senior year, had no school for a long stretch, and was eventually forced to relocate to another building. The class of 1920 had to recover from the community-wide fright that an armed robbery just around the corner from Town Hall, known to us now as the Sacco and Vanzetti case, had wrought across the community. Throughout the 40s, BHS students regularly ended their educations early to serve bravely in the military. In 1968, the graduating class had to make sense of the assassinations of Dr. King and Robert Kennedy, both of whom were university students just up the road from here in Boston. And within the memories of many of your teachers, members of the class of 2002 started their senior years with one set of expectations and were faced within 2 weeks with a drastically changed world filled with new fears and new security demands following the September 11th attacks. I don't mean to be a downer on graduation day, but I think you see where I'm headed. No one could have expected that this would be how your year would end, and no one can remember any time in the life of our school or in the life of our nation that was quite like this. And the point of these examples is not to minimize the impact of this spring on your high school experiences and your lives outside of school, but rather to say, I have complete confidence that you, both as a class and as individuals, will overcome what fate has thrown your way this spring. On one hand, I know this because, as I've just pointed out, Braintree High School graduates have been doing this for over 150 years, whether during other pandemics, national crises, times of war, or simply very challenging moments in the history of this school. But I also know that you will overcome these challenges because, as I told you earlier this spring, I've seen you do it before. I have seen you persevere in ways large and small, in front of huge audiences and in front of small groups of classmates, and I know that you possess the strength, the character, and now the education to do so again. Class of 2020, your story is a unique one, and one that will be remembered for as long as there is a Braintree High School. Your story is more than just this past spring, and includes all of the many accomplishments of the past 4 years that you can rightfully boast of. Your story inspires us, and we look forward to it continuing to do so throughout your many years of future successes. Congratulations, good luck, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning.